allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's go ahead and get a roll call to establish quorum, please. I got Mr. Reynolds here. Miguel Reyna's absent. Mr. Cantu is absent. Paul, you on the line? Paul, you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Frank here and Mr. Spammer here.
Chairman, you have a
Constitute
quorum.
quorum?
Yes, sir, you have a quorum.
Let's go ahead and go to any public comment.
No, sir, we do not have anyone signed up for public comment.
Okay, let's go ahead and start with reports.
Item 1A is a report on program manager activity for the 365 Tollway project and the IBTC environmental clearance document. Eric Davila is going to give the board a report.
Good evening.
David,
Yes, sir. Alonso, you
I'm
on
on the line.
Okay,
Tell me you're not hearing me.
okay. Mr. Cantu is on the line.
Okay, there we go. Good evening.
Good evening.
We'll first jump to the 365 toll project. We wrapped up the question session, part of our question and answer session of the 365 tollway bid. So far, we received 93 questions and are pretty much running the corner to provide answers to every single one of them by tomorrow. We've had input from the GEC, from RMA staff, legal counsel, and the engineers of record, which are LNG, S&B, Dannenbaum in some cases. And so we have, and TEDSI, we have good feedback that we've provided to each and every one of them so far. We've generated 2 addenda. One of them is already been issued. Addendum number 1 was issued last week. Addendum number 2 is being reviewed by TxDOT currently. They've had it for about a day, and they're reviewing it very expeditiously. It's a heftier one that has to do with the irrigation district 2 redesign of going over the San Juan Canal. And we have an addendum 3 that'll go out before the bid process is wrapped up. So we're very quickly answering the remaining questions, so we see what's left for that last addendum. And so far, barring any surprises, addendum number 2 will have the largest number of sheets. Addendum number 3 should just be some tidying up. So as opposed to 285 questions that we got in the 2017 bid, a lot less questions. A lot of these questions are having to do with how the RMA will proceed with certain specifications. They were less about corrections, more about how we will proceed as an agency to operate in the field. And so a lot of those questions didn't require an addendum. So that's 365 somewhat in a nutshell. Well, we're proceeding toward opening bids on October the 13th, and we had a pre-bid meeting that was well attended. We had about over 15 teams that represent major and major subs that are listed with TxDOT that were in attendance. That's in addition to the DBE suppliers, material suppliers, local, regional, international that have asked questions or have come by to the event. So the events have been well attended. There's a lot of plant holders, but in a nutshell, there's a lot of interest in the project and a lot of potential teaming that might come with that, joint ventures. And so our bid proposal has a way of handling those new joint ventures that may come out to joint bid a project of this size. So any questions on the 365 tollway? Hearing none. On the IBTC, it's a very quick summary. We've submitted the final schematic to TxDOT. We're essentially awaiting their final review comments on that. Once we are certain that they accept that final revision, essentially the final environmental document will follow right after, and we can get our meeting date for the public hearing. We still anticipate it'll be somewhere late fall, and so we'll continue to keep an eye on that and work with TxDOT to be responsive to any of their needs. Any other questions? No? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Chairman Directors, the next item on your agenda is 1B, is a report on the financing for the 365 Tollway project. We have Richard Ramirez with Hilltop Security on the phone to give the board a brief report. Richard?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, board members. We continue to work on the financing, focusing right now on the preliminary official statement, which is the offering document that goes to the investors. We've been meeting with bond counsel and the entire team. We have meetings that are scheduled. I think the next important date on the financing side is the rating agencies on October the 21st. And to maintain that schedule, we're just hoping the procurement comes in and we're able to have a contract amount that we can utilize for the cash flows to run the financing scenario. So from our standpoint, everything is progressing fine. You may have heard the market has gone up a bit on the muni side, probably around 10 to 12 basis points. Our model has a 50 basis point cushion in it. We're well within range. At this point, I am not concerned, although, in terms of here in the near term, what happens in terms of inflation and where the market goes, I've visit with our desk and we think that we will be fine at this point, that there shouldn't be 50 basis points increase in the market, but we're not guaranteeing anything. We just think that's kind of the expectation at this point. So we expect to be fine. The only unknown is the contract bid, whatever that number comes in. But in terms of the mechanics of the financing and the team, I think they're progressing just fine.
What does the pay go in the market, Richard?
We have the pricing set. Let me pull up my calendar. We get ratings. Let's see. Right now we have the first week of December 1 actually to price the bonds. And all of that is just driven by the text out schedule in approving the procurement and so forth. We certainly would like to go sooner, but based on what I'm hearing, we have from engineers and the TxDOT folks in terms of their approvals of the procurement documents and concurrence and so forth. That's the earliest date we can go.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Richard.
All right, thank you.
Chairman Directors, next item on your agenda is a consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the governing body and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. However, if discussion is desired, that item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
If there are no questions, can I get a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
A motion, can I get a second? Motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Going to regular agenda, resolution 2021-35, approval of a one-year extension to the professional service agreement with Shepherd, Walton and King to provide insurance broker services to the Alva County Regional Mobility Authority.
Chairman Directors, if you recall, as a condition or provision to the SIB, the State Infrastructure Bank loan that the authority obtained, we're required to have an insurance consultant on contract to provide us with advice on our insurance requirements. Shepherd Walton King, we went out for proposals. Shepherd Walton King was selected by the board of directors, and this is an extension to their current contract. We've spent a minimal amount of money with them, probably on the order of like $10,000. And so what they do is they provide us with recommendations on the various types of insurance that we're required to have as a governmental agency and the limits. And so those are such things as general liability, pollution control, et cetera. And so we consult with them on all our insurance requirements, and that is required by the Texas Department of Transportation as a condition of the SIB loan. Staff recommends approval.
Can I get a motion to approve the resolution 2021-35, one extension to Shepherd Walton King? Have a motion? Can I-
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution 2021-36, approval of the contract with LNG Engineering Laboratory.
Chairman and Chairman Directors, this is a construction material testing services contract with LNG laboratories, engineering laboratories. There are several other contracts that follow this, but I'll go over this one first. This is to provide testing services for the authority as part of construction for the 365 Tollway. This particular contract, the LNG Engineering's will be providing testing on approximately 5.85 miles of roadway. They will be doing the testing for the embankment, the retaining walls, any piping that we have, any trenching, and for all the bridges, the concrete for the columns, for the abutments, for the caps, for the deck, everything. So that they will be providing the testing for this. We have a series of contracts where we've negotiated. These are all unit price testing, and so we already have a fixed fee for that test. This is required by our quality assurance program that we've adopted, that the board of directors has adopted, and that defines the frequency, the frequency of the testing. So it defines how many cubic yards we have to test the concrete, for example, or how many square yards of embankment we have to, and how thick the lifts have to be. And so all of that is already, we have a set schedule for the frequency of the testing. And so this amount is based on that frequency for these limits and for these items. So that it's, we're recommending, we're estimating that to be $2,765,349.03. So staff is recommending approval.
Only for this contract or all of the contracts combined?
So just for this, for the 365, yeah, just for this 365 contract.
Are all the contracts the same price?
Yes, the
Like,
unit,
price is exactly the same for all the contracts?
yes, we've negotiated, Ramon, are they all pretty much in line?
On the negotiations, we have a per unit basis for each tester. This year, as we did last year, we went out with one price for all the firms. This year, we went out and individually approached each firm to give us a set price, but they all fell within a range, which is the higher top side of the testing range. So they are pretty much in the market. Individual testing, and they fall within the proximity of $20 to $12 per negotiated with each individual firm.
And the price is an approximate.
Yes,
That's approximately.
it's an approximate price to conduct all our quality analysis. It's on a frequency basis. We have so many cubic yards of dirt, they need to perform so many tests on that many yards. And every time we have a truck of concrete.
Yep. But if you're basically agreeing on a set price
Yes,
per unit.
per test, yes,
And the amount that you just gave us, the 2 million, is just an approximation.
an estimate, yes,
An
sir,
estimate.
estimate. So
And it's gonna be the same for each one of the different contractors.
that's correct, yes, sir. So that's estimate based on our quality assurance program, and that says the frequency. So we estimated, well, we have 3 million cubic yards of embankment, so we're gonna require to be X number of the density, for example.
And that's
test.
recommended by the engineer.
Yes, sir. Well, and it's required, TxDOT requires us to have this program. So we don't really have a choice. We have to do this testing. And so our estimate for this particular contract is $2,765,349.03. I will tell you that when we performed the US 281 overpass and the BSIF connector, we estimated similarly, and we came in under the amount. So staff recommends approval.
Are there any other questions? Can I get a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion from Frank and a second from Joaquin. No, so the other way around, Joaquin and Frank. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's go to item 3C, please. Resolution 2021-37, approval of work authorization number 1 with LNG Engineering Laboratory for material and testing of 365 project.
So this is just the work authorization to
Start.
the details, what the board approved in the contract amount. It's again, for 5.8 miles, 85 miles of roadway, $2,765,349.03. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, so this is under the original contract we just awarded, is that correct?
That's correct, yes. And the work authorization actually details the actual tests. The
Okay.
contract is the maximum payable amount. Staff
And we'll be
recommends
getting
approval.
details on how the reports work every month. Okay. There are no other
Can we get
questions?
a table on the different prices on each one of the contractors?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have a spreadsheet,
There's a
spreadsheet
Yeah,
with
spreadsheet.
everybody's, yeah, so you can look at them side by
With the
side.
bids, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't read it in the packet, so it's.
Okay.
The print's too small. They're too small.
Yes, sir. We'll email that one directly.
Okay. Okay, if there's no other questions. Can I get a motion for approval? I have a motion from Joaquin. Can I get a second?
Box.
Moxley, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3D, Resolution 2021-38, approval of the contract award of contract with Tecaron Consultants, Inc. for construction testing materials for the Hidalgo County Regional Mobility Authority.
Yes, sir. Chairman, directors, this item is for Terracon Consultants. Again, it's construction material testing, but Terracon will be awarded the pavement, which includes the subgrade, the flexible base, the caliche, and the continuous reinforced concrete pavement for the entire project, which is approximately 2.23 miles. So they will be testing only the pavement section, the structural section of the pavement. They won't be doing the embankment. They won't be doing the bridges. They won't be doing the pipe backfill. That's what we awarded to LNG on one segment. But Terracon will be doing all the pavement from end to end. And that's in the amount of $1,950,258.64. Same procedure. We've negotiated a unit price. We have a frequency that's based on our quality assurance program. And so this is the estimate based on that. And staff
No
recommends approval.
duplication of work, correct?
No duplication. So that's why I called out the items. These will be strictly the pavement items
Okay.
versus the embankment, bridges, and all the pipe work, the trenching, backfill for the trenching on the previous contract that was awarded.
Are there any questions?
What was the full amount again?
$1,950,258.64. And this will be over 12.23 miles. So they're going to do all the testing on the pavement from end to end on the entire project.
I used to complain when they hit me with a $45,000 bill.
Pilar, you
Now
said
it's
12 or 2?
12.23, which is the entire project.
Okay. Are there no other questions? I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
So got a motion from Joaquin. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second from Frank. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3E is approval of work authorization number 1 with Terracon Consultants for material testing in the 365 work project.
Chairman, directors, this is just the work authorization for the $1.9 million worth of work you approved in the contract.
Okay.
Staff recommends approval.
Okay, can I get a motion for approval for the work authorization number 1 with Terracon Consultants?
So moved.
Have a motion. Forrest, can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Joaquin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution 2021-42, approval of contract award to B2Z Engineering LLC for construction material testing services for Hidalgo County RMA.
Chairman and directors, this contract to B2Z Engineering is for 2.32 miles of levee relocation only. We're awarding them the levee relocations. As part of our roadway project, we're going to have to relocate a little over 2 miles of the International Boundaries and Water Commission levee, both on the north levee and the south levee as the project traverses. So this contract is for just that levee relocation, and it's primarily embankment. It's an earthen levee. And so we're recommending that contract in the amount of $201,143.26 to B2Z Engineering. Staff recommends approval.
Are there any questions? Not approve resolution 2021-42, approval of the award of contract to B2Z Engineering for the material for the Hidalgo County RMA. Can I get a motion? Motion by Frank. Second, by Joaquin. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then resolution 2021, approval of work authorization number one for B2Z Engineering.
And Chairman Directors, this is just the detailed work authorization on the contract you just approved. Staff recommends approval.
Can I get a motion for approval of the authorization, work authorization? Frank,
Motion.
motion by Joaquin. Can I get a second, Frank? Frank, second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And Chairman, just to note that we do have two more contracts pending. The consultants for construction material testing, the consultants didn't get their backup in time to get it on the agenda, so we'll place it on the next agenda, which is Robert Kistner for segment one, which LNG was awarded segment two. Robert Kistner will have segment one. Again, it's the embankment, retaining walls, and bridges and pipes for the other half of the project. And then another consultant, Atlas, and there are our quality assurance. So they're the testing lab that checks the testing lab, which is required under our quality assurance program by TxDOT. So they'll go out and they'll certify that the technicians that the other three labs or four labs have are qualified. They'll also go in and certify that their procedures are correct in accordance with the standards. And so that's what they'll be checking LNG, Terracon, B2C, and Robert Kistner.
So all these entities carry bonds,
Yes, insurance. Yes, sir.
and y'all will get a copy of the bond,
Yes, sir.
and
We
we're
will.
named as lost payee.
Yes, sir. And so we'll bring those two consultants that are left at the next board meeting.
Thank you.
And so we have no further business for the board to consider under the regular agenda, Chairman.
Any other business that we need to bring to the table? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Forrest, can I get a second? Second by Joaquin. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.